Got that CDX token, we the ones chosen. Every stake, every yield, while I stay golden. Cod3x Club, AI not focused, it's an anthem. CDX got them frozen.
Wait, is that echoing? Looks like it's echoing a little bit. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Club. Welcome to. Is that echoing? Oh yeah, I gotta look. Someone else is gonna have to screen share this. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Club. Yeah, all right. Someone else get in the Club Cod3x stage for me and do this and share the screen because I can't do it. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of Club Cod3x. We got a big thing in store for you today. We're gonna be talking about memes. We're gonna be talking about the future of Club Cod3x. You can see I'm fitted from the head to the toes in Club Cod3x drip. We're gonna be talking about charity. We're gonna be talking about all sorts of things, guys. Thanks for joining me. Charles, Stephen Vinyl,
Hello.
Beavis, how y'all doing?
Hi.
Hey. What's up, Corball?
If we want to stream to Discord, one of you may have to leave and stream on Discord.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys.
I can try and leave and stream on Discord. I'll go and try that.
Steven,
See you there.
You're a god. We're going to be taking questions from the Discord. We're going to be taking questions from Twitter and also from YouTube. So we're trying to throw the widest net out there to see what you guys think about what we're doing. And already we got 114 viewers, so something's happening. Something's working. But thank you guys so much for showing up, and I appreciate you working with us while we're working through the technical difficulties here. Trying to get the YouTube and everything going. But yeah, Beavis, Charles, how y'all doing today?
Good. Hanging in there. Lots of meetings. But I just had lunch. I just drank a bunch of water, and I'm feeling like a new man.
Wonderful.
Hanging in there. Lots of meetings.
Where is this coming from? I got to leave this server. I got to deafen myself. There we go. All right. That was the problem all along. All right. Well, I'm glad you're having meetings. Hopefully they're productive ones for our future, dude. I got to deafen myself. There we go. Got to leave this server. It's not working. All right. There we go. All right. Now we're perfect. Charles, what about you, man? Have you been having meetings? Have you been contributing to the future?
I like to think so. I joined Beavis on one of the meetings. Not a ton of meetings though. Right now I'm doing some spreadsheet things and I'm trying to optimize our operations, some future operations that are really exciting, but I don't think we can share yet. But just trying to crunch some numbers and figure out the best path forward to reach $1 trillion in
of
value.
Anything, just notionally $1 trillion in any capacity.
Wow, this is some pretty big talk, guys. $1 trillion. That's fantastic. Timmy Toons, thank you for showing up. Timmy Turnis. All right. Is this now verted correctly?
You're fully. All of us are inverted right now.
All right. Anyway, well, I'm glad that you guys are conducting business. It's a little vague and it's a little inside baseball here. I don't know if anyone's really getting anything out of this, but what do you guys have? What's been your feeling on the pulse of crypto right now? Because right now it seems like we're still talking memes, dude. It seems like memes are back in a big way. Seeing people post about it nonstop on X. Is that true? Is that a fair assessment? Is that where you guys' heads at?
Probably mine more so than Charles, but it does seem like meme coins are. I mean, they've been the direction things are heading, but I think even for DeFi, they're the most premium source of volatility and scalable yield right now. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're not thinking about how to capture that yield and turn it into either a delta neutral product or something similar, then you're wasting your time. So that's kind of the capacity we're thinking about them. And I think, and I wrote about it, if you haven't read the recent Cod3x article about our tech stack, It seems like, the inflationary yield games that we enjoyed playing in 2021, meme coins might just be a strictly better product in terms of risk return for consumers. So that's where everybody's head is at now. And I know you recently struck it big on our favorite meme coin.
I don't know if I'd say I struck it big. I've done quite well comparatively to say like an Ethiopian child or a cobalt miner. I've done pretty well off of some meme coins, and that's why it's on the forefront of my mind. But I'm glad to think, have you considered any way to kind of like capture some of this volatility into Codex? You mentioned that we're thinking about it, but is there any kind of way that we can profit off of this? I know we're serious builders, we're serious engineers. We don't play games with this flash in the pans type crap, right? But
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a flash in the pan. Even, in 2021, people were obsessed with over engineering these things. If you remember, like Safe Moon and baby cakes and stuff like that. And I think like people are realizing, hey, maybe a token is just a really great way to, it's a better coin flip, basically. And so capturing volatility is really about, you look at Uniswap, you look at the fees they're pushing, you look at who's pushing the majority of fees, and meme coins are up there with stable coins, sometimes even beyond, and really distilling that flow into a product that can be engaged with at scale, or a product that can be engaged with more meaningfully by a broader set of the market, I think is where hardline DeFi needs to head. Because I know like everybody was up in arms talking about, Vitalik, DeFi is awesome, support DeFi more. But when it comes to over collateralized lending, it is inherently inefficient, and it is inherently a small market, a smallish market. And, incentives can only take us so far. So looking at that sort of exposure, I think, is the next step in creating yield that scales and is potentially more impactful than simple over collateralized lending, because there's just not that much demand borrow side.
I see. You got to go where the money is. Now, people in the Discord are asking, Charles, you're hard at work crunching numbers right now, and we really appreciate it. They just want to know.
I'll stop the clacking.
They just want to know, are they looking good? Are the numbers looking good?
The numbers are looking good. Yeah, well, it's kind of external numbers that, how do I say this without giving away too many specifics? It's just
Charles is calculating
a way for us to leverage other protocols and what the best strategy is for us to be able to maximize our use of other protocols.
Okay, so we're gonna be talking about maximizing the use of our use of other protocols here a little bit later in the show. But guys, let's call that our intro. Let me play a little song here as our transition to our next segment, because we got a nice segment here. Charles, pick a number between 1 and 10.
4.
Okay. Now we're moving into.
I wish I picked a different number.
We're moving. Now we're moving into our partner spotlight segment, where I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the integrated partners for Codex, how they're doing, some wins, and Charles was telling me a little bit about something about a little product called Lore. You guys ever heard of Lore? Lore on Scroll?
I've heard about it.
I haven't just heard about it. I played with the thing. I love it. Lore is great, dude. Now, the thing about Lore, though, is their IFO is ending or has ended. Is this correct, Charles?
Yeah. So for anyone not in the know, the Lore launch was kind of unique in that there was no public sale, there was no pre-sale, there was no sale of any tokens before it hit the market. And so to get the initial supply into people's hands, we did an IFO, which is an initial farm offering where you just have super high emissions, and essentially the people who would participate in some sort of public sale, they're accessing those tokens by just using the platform and farming the lending market. So we did 2 months of like really high emissions, really high yields. A bunch of people farmed the token. It was going to be 3 months, but after the 2 months, we realized, maybe we went a bit too hard. And it's the like the IFO kind of ran its course. So we made an announcement 2 weeks ago, a week ago, about the IFO ending. So the emission rate is now at like a reasonable level. I think it's 5 or 6% a year. So everybody who basically farmed that IFO has gotten access to the token. And also the OLOR discount rate. So the token you get for farming, which gives you, a discount to liquid lore. The OLOR discount rate is being increased. Today, it will go up to 31%. I'm not sure.
31 and a half, I believe.
31 and a
I
half?
executed it earlier.
Nice. Okay.
Wow. You can tell this is a tight ship we're running here. Charles and Beavis
So
just
31 and a half.
executing
In about a month, it will reach the max discount, which is 50%. And at that point, people will have 2 weeks to exercise their OLOR before it's over for them. No, but essentially the discount's going to be reached. You're going to have 2 weeks to exercise any OLOR that you have, and then we're going to reset the OLOR contract. It'll stay at 50%, and we'll just kind of continue on as a usual sort of protocol. So we'll make a bunch of announcements about it and keep everybody informed over the next month or so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of informed a lot of our, thoughts, I would say, about inflationary token economics, because, shipping lore was about seeing if the market still had an appetite for like liquid tokens, and yield at scale, and a willingness to kind of play the games that in 2021 everybody was like, hey, I'm going to do this weird asymmetric strategy so I can capitalize on this token or that token, and with Laura, it was like, okay, let's push that to the extreme and see if people were willing to engage. And I think the result was kind of 50-50. Like, some people were engaging and some people were really just trying to farm the yield and sell as many tokens as possible. And it was at that we were like, okay, obviously Scroll doesn't necessarily have the most native demand, but I think that really kind of turned the page for us in terms of launch strategy. Unless you're doing points and unless you're keeping everybody illiquid, I really think the market can't handle liquidity anymore. So it's like there are too many professionals, too many LPs with kind of conflicting interests at play. And the simple strategy, honestly, is often the best one. You may not, outperform like crazy, but at the very least, you'll be able to deliver what you promised to your liquidity provider. So, yeah, we're going to be trying new things with kind of future chapters and engaging with new ecosystems, and really kind of the mindset post lore is like, we just need to not inflate tokens anymore. It's kind of like painful, and the operational lift is huge. Like, we're just in our chairs executing buybacks and stuff like that constantly to keep everything well maintained.
I see. So some lessons that maybe applied to the CDX token itself. Now, we got a question here. What's going to happen next after the 50% discount? Charles says we're restarting the contract. Does that mean we're zeroing out everyone's balances, Charles?
It basically means that
I'm unmuting myself.
It basically means that options are going to expire. So if you have OLOR and it's not exercised by November 25th, it will expire. So really what that means for stakers and holders and whatever is there's going to be a hard reset in November, and we will have kind of started anew with anybody who had excess OLOR sitting in their pockets will have to start farming again if they want tokens. So there will be kind of this crunch time, like exercise and figure out what you want to do, because after November 25th, it's like a brand new economy with a focus more on lower USD and CDX USD, which maybe we'll talk about in this call here. But yeah, we're pretty excited, kind of broadly, to continue reducing dependence on inflation, and the new tech stack is designed around that.
All right, so there you go. What's going to happen next? Pivot of focus to stables and possibly further CDX integration. Now, Charles, you mentioned before we started this something about itchy vaults being weird. You still want to talk about itchy vaults being weird?
Sure, I can just touch on it in a second. There are itchy vaults on Kim Exchange for ironclad assets. So this is on Mode. There is an ETH single-sided vault, an IUSD single-sided vault, and a Mode single-sided vault. And all of them are paying out really nice yields. The yield is paid in Mode. So single deposit, good assets, IUSD being a stablecoin, everyone has ETH. Go to Kim Exchange, deposit them, and earn a lot of Mode. There was just a couple weird things, like the rewards are going through Merkle, so some people were saying that their rewards aren't showing up. They are accumulating, so if you go in there and after an hour you don't see any rewards to claim, just don't freak out. They are accumulating, they will show up, and I'm just working through some kinks. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight the Ichi vaults because they're awesome. So yeah, single-sided deal.
Right on. So get into them Ichi vaults if you haven't already. All right, now let's move on to my next segment here. Phoebus, pick a number between 1 and 5.
3.
All right.
Is that the same song?
Nope. This is called daydreaming. The other one is called feeding the ducks.
Wow.
Now
this is technology that I can.
Yeah, now we're going to be daydreaming our way into something a little bit new, which is going to be a little bit of alpha, which we really only have a little bit, unless Beavis wants to drop some gems for us. Talking about launching ICL on Aerodrome, right? This is a bit of alpha, right? People are curious. People in the chat are asking, what's going on? What's going on with base? What's going on with Ironclad? What's popping, guys? Spill the beans.
I mean, I can take that if you want, Charles.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're very close to the super chain, having run super fast and been working with all those teams. And, what we found is kind of the thesis is in a lot of ways coalescing around Base as a liquidity hub. So, if you're not familiar with the shared sequencing thesis, the super chain thesis, the interoperability thesis, everybody has a different name for it. It's basically the idea that, in a network of blockchains or in an internet of blockchains, each network will generally kind of have its own focus, have its own go-to-market strategy, have its own demographic that it's addressing. And generally speaking, when you're talking about execution, for most transactions, the best execution is going to happen on the same chain, no matter which network you're on. So for example, let's say you're on Mode and you want to trade ETH. Generally speaking, your only opportunity cost to trade that ETH on Aerodrome is the bridge there and back, which is a fee. And with Optimism lowering fees with their interop stack that I believe has been announced and is coming out soon, what that means is Aerodrome is going to be the center for a lot of trading execution. So for smaller trades, it'll make sense to execute on Mode because you won't have to pay flat fees for the bridge both ways. But for everything else, it's really like we can bundle these calls and callbacks into a, let's go to Aerodrome, let's swap, let's go back. And by doing that with ICL, for example, we will be able to access a way bigger audience as well as the Aerodrome flywheel. So what we've been doing with Ironclad is we've been cutting back on emissions, kind of like we've been doing everywhere. But what's really cool is all of this money we're saving on emissions and all of this energy we're building up, we're saving for Aerodrome. So long term, we're going to have a really solid bribe strategy and turn ICL into a really great DeFi token there. And then, if you want to engage with IUSD or you want to engage meaningfully with the broader ecosystem, you can just bridge over and engage with the Ironclad platform. And really what that means for the user is if you're engaging with the ICL token, you're going to get more liquidity, more distribution. But if you're engaging with the Ironclad platform, you'll do that on Mode. And what we found is, our biggest addressable market is the Mode, like, investor base, Mode community, Mode foundation. And so having the platform on Mode and delivering yield products for these parties or these stakeholders, they're less interested in the token simply because they're operating at a much larger scale. And the Ironclad token is more so for the trader and the speculator and the person interested in staking. So by executing this kind of barbell strategy on base and on Mode, we can fit really well with the interoperability thesis. And as fees get lower for the bridges and as interoperability improves, we'll be really perfectly positioned to get Ironclad in the hands of everybody. And it's just way better distribution for us. And I think a lot of our super chain strategy going forward is going to revolve around Aerodrome simply because the liquidity is there. And it's one of the fastest growing DeFi protocols for a reason. They have a fabulous flywheel.
Interesting. Okay. Got a VE NFT?
We do have a number of VE NFTs. Yes.
All right. Well, I like to hear that for Aerodrome. This barbell strategy, it seems like you touched on this right there at the end, where it's like the product of Ironclad appealing to people with generally larger scale funds, right? They like that product, right? The CDP product for their purposes. Not so interested in the token itself because they're looking for less volatility. They're not looking for a crazy outsized return. They're trying to use your game. They're trying to use the CDP in their game as a tool, right?
Exactly.
And so standing out is trying to find a new market for the ICL token.
Yeah, and Mode, it's just they haven't gotten a lot of traction with traders, which is fine. But frankly, like, ICL is yielding so much and it's emitting so little that we feel that if we can kind of give it a different setting, give it greater distribution, use yield as a catalyst for growth there, we'll get a lot more adoption. And the way the kind of DeFi reflexivity works is, the more token adoption, the more token stakers, generally the more yield you can support and the better you can serve your clients on the other end. So we're excited to get to market with this, and we've been working closely with the Aerodrome team to restructure the treasury a little bit, change some of the security controls to better suit the users of their platform.
Yeah.
Right on.
The other cool thing, or the other thing Ironclad related, is we have this like giant. We've been accumulating Mode for a while, and apart from incentives like incentivizing stakers or LPs with the Mode, we have an opportunity to be able to incentivize an Aero pool, like Aero voters, where we don't have to use our native token. So the voters are getting premium assets. And, the voters we don't have to think about the cost of, voters just getting their vote incentives and dumping, because it's a higher market cap, more liquid token that's not going to affect ICL. So that's one thing. The other thing is, actually, you know what? Never mind. I won't mention that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to yet, but
that's fine.
Yeah, there are some really interesting. The Mode team has been cooking, frankly, and we're extremely well positioned to execute along this roadmap, being minimum ICL emissions, maximum yield and impact for stakers. So pretty excited about that, and really, it's been a lot of fun kind of fleshing out these roadmaps and these strategies and these divergent ecosystems, being Mode and Scroll.
Yeah. And, Mode, right? Home for, what is it again? The home for AI.
I believe AI-Fi, which we may
hear.
know a thing or two about.
Yeah. It's called Synergy, baby. We got irons and many fires, and they're all burning hot, fellas. Now, let's move on to the next one. Let's go talking about AI-Fi. Let's go straight into the Codex status reports. And this time I'm going to pick a song, okay? And I got an unfair advantage because I'm looking at it. So how about this one? Oh,
Wow.
that's a fail, dude. My bad. Anyway, Codex stats report. I want to talk a little bit about what's new for Codex specifically. Now, there's some things I guess I can't really talk about, but there's some things I definitely can. Let's talk about points, guys. You guys are excited for the points being unveiled, and I know people at home are probably excited about it. Who is the one in prison overalls? Oh my God, that's me, Corval. Um, yeah, so we're talking points. Now, one of the ways you can get points is by watching these club codexes and sticking around. Now, you got to be in the Discord for that, though. I got the Discord chat open right here, and I'm looking at people. We're going to be adding you to a wheel, and we're going to spin the wheel, and you're going to get some points that way. But there's a lot of other ways you can get points. Isn't that right, fellas? I could throw up the blog post if you guys haven't read it here, and we can go through it. And we can talk maybe a little bit about why we chose these things. First up, Discord level, just leveling up in the Discord, participating in the community. What we really want is to have people excited about this, about Codex as we are. We want them contributing to the conversation, right? Next up, Twitter content, and that's just getting the word out, right? So we want high quality threads, high quality images. We want you to be putting stuff out there, getting into the public consciousness. Codex makes perfect sense. Club Codex giveaway, that's what we're talking about right now, right? Also makes sense. You're participating in the club. Now, this last one doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's got the most points by far. What's the deal with this? Beat Samson?
Yeah, well, if you don't know
Samson?
Scamson, yeah, if you don't know Scamson, our COO, he's like an ex-pro gamer. He's been like #1 in the world in games, and we told him to dust off his keyboard and give you guys a chance to beat him and earn some points. So really, like, frankly, in these early stages of product development, there's not a ton to do if you're a user or an evangelist. It's like, okay, they're iterating feature by feature. Maybe I'm using this financial software a few times a week to manage my portfolio. Maybe I'm doing this, maybe I'm doing that. But we want to kind of flesh out a community anyway. So obviously, like, if you spam us or whatever, we're just going to kill you. Just kidding. But if you spam us, we'll zero you out. But we just want our Discord to be your home base. We want to talk to you guys about products. We want to talk to you guys about DeFi, and our whole team is going to be in there more and more. We moved our Slack huddles to the Discord office, if you've been seeing us hanging out in there. And it's been a while since we've really had a product that we thought had the potential to giga scale with retail. And frankly, like, if you remember the Reaper days, the magic of having 100,000 or so users means you've got cool people filtering in and out of the Discord all the time. So we just want to create a really welcoming environment and keep educating people because it's going to be a while before people can really understand these products and engage with these products meaningfully. So yeah, show us on Twitter, help us out in Discord. If you tag Codex on Twitter, you'll be entered to win some points. And I'll tell you, like, these early stage points are going to be really valuable. We're going to have referral programs here pretty soon, and really all sorts of ways to engage. And I'll tell you, we're going to try to do the first Beat Samson this week. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off, but if you're good at gaming, you should try to beat him. It's at a game of his choosing, though, and he'll probably kick your ass. But 25,000 points, I'll tell you, is worth getting your ass kicked in spring.
Yeah. And it could be fun, I guess. You could learn a thing or two about what does Samson even play nowadays?
He's been playing a lot of Age of Mythology, Age of Empires, some Overwatch,
Okay.
some Valorant. I don't even know.
You got to get your APMs up.
If
I can't play him, he's like, I just can't do it. I'm not good enough.
Yeah. If anyone's familiar with Overwatch and how large of a game that is, Samson was like, he was #1 in the world for a certain character type. And then, like, was it for Mercy?
No.
For the girl character.
No.
Yeah, he's
No,
#1
he was not.
for girl character playing support.
Dude,
But
he's
don't worry
gonna
about it,
watch
I
guys.
also don't want to
Kill
dox
you.
him. But yeah, I guess he's already. But like yeah. And like top 20 given any character type. And for Overwatch, that's like, that's a ridiculous stat. Like it's such a huge game. I just can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
So good luck is what I'm saying.
Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you strivers out there hoping to take down the scams man himself.
It looks
Now-
like Steven nuked the Discord accidentally as well. So sorry if you.
Yeah, so sorry. For the
We're
Discord.
figuring it out. Logistics for these streams, multi-platform can be a little tricky.
Yeah, Discord is not the most stream-friendly platform. Surprisingly, it's supposed to be for gamers, but they won't accept direct streams. You have to screen share.
Yeah.
We should start streaming on Twitch. Twitch
Okay.
Club Codexes.
I could do that. I also
Is
wanted to
anybody on
men-
Twitter? If you're watching on Twitter, post a comment.
Oh, we
I
got
wanna
Twitter
see
watchers,
something.
dude.
We got
They've got
360. I feel like there's 300 bots and 60.
That's
Look,
awesome.
if you're gonna FUD our viewing numbers, do it after the broadcast. What the hell, dude? I wanted to mention too, points, right? We got this Dex Star NFT floating around out there. Mint it, dude. Make sure you got at least one because that's gonna be your key to future opportunities in the points and also personal enrichment meta. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep your decks nice and safe, and don't try to sell it on OpenSea like some kind of filthy animal. Sure, someone might buy it, but you can't. You shouldn't be able to live with yourself after that. Anyway, because it's a free mint. It's a free mint. But all right, moving on. Let's talk about what else is upcoming here. Okay, looks like something might be progressing in the Discord.
I want to talk about. I mean, the name of this Club Codex is Memecoin Revelations. So I maybe want to talk about Codex USD and what could be possible in the realm of meme coins, and maybe we can just highlight some of the Codex USD tech and why it's cool. Kind of teased in the article that was recently posted, but yeah. Liquidity AMO. Justin, do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't have to.
So a number of months ago, if you follow me and also follow like the Pump Fund founder or like a handful of other people, I've been in people's like replies arguing about meme coins quite a bit. And for the past while, as we've been developing Codex Land and our next generation stablecoin, one of the main things we've been thinking about is how do we capture meme coin volatility in a delta neutral yield product on one hand, and two, how do we capture our exposure to the meme coin market overall? If you can argue about the legitimacy of meme coins or whatever, but you can't argue with the numbers. People are paying good money to trade these things. They're paying more money to trade them and engage with them than pretty much anything else going on in the market. And that warrants a lot of really hard thinking about, if this is crypto's product market fit, for example, if this is the real like holy grail of use cases, and obviously, crypto is going to grow and expand far beyond, meme coins, but here and now and in perpetuity, I feel that there's a massive opportunity here. So enter the liquidity AMO. So one of the things we've been thinking really hard about is how to execute on unsecured or under collateralized lending with stablecoins. And obviously, in a trustless, permissionless environment, it's impossible. I don't care how much freaking data you have on a person. I don't care if you have attestations out the ass. Unless you have the ability to sue someone or take them to arbitration or whatever, you can't issue them a freaking unsecured loan unless you're a maniac. You can't underwrite that. That being said, there are ways to kind of use stable coins and use credit strategically such that you can achieve a similar outcome in certain circumstances. And, one of the really cool things about meme coins is, you look at them technically speaking, it's like, okay, here is a token that is being launched, that's being launched with 100% of the supply being distributed via the LP. And you think about that, it's like the structure is in itself very niche. However, it does present an opportunity being scaling up with synthetic credit. And as purveyors of synthetic credit for the past couple of years, which is kind of, a stable coin, hello B, we feel that, let's say you launch a token, let's say you launch, PooCoin. Okay. And PooCoin is a financial primitive driven by the blockchain using ERC20 technology. It's just so awesome. Today, if you launch that on a launch pad, you're generally launching it at zero value, and a bonding curve is taking you up. And at some point, there is some take being, shoved into the mix, and it's being migrated to a decentralized exchange. Now, think about the dynamics of PooCoin. If 100% of the issuance is to the LP, in launching it at a zero valuation, you've effectively marked the floor price of the token at zero. But if you use synthetic credit instruments to launch the LP, let's say you launch it at $1 million valuation, with 100% of the token supply going to the pool and being distributed from the pool. If at that point 100% of the tokens are in the pool, the price can only go up. That is your ground floor. That's your zero. And thus the synthetic credit backing it, the technically secured but unsecured loan backing it, kind of being mathematically secured by the AMM, can never, ever become under collateralized. Because every time someone wants to purchase one of these meme coins, they need to put down $1. So the collateralization, as the pool takes fees and as distribution increases, as wallets die, will become more and more collateralized over time, up from 100%. And thus, by issuing synthetic credit to this pool, let's say $1 million, let's say $100 billion, let's say $100, it doesn't matter. You've essentially created a means for your stable coin to, one, grow via speculation on meme coins in supply, and two, capture yield and volatility via people routing through the pool of stable coins, the core pool being, let's say, the CDX USD USDC pool. And you've captured fees that way as well. So essentially you have a synthetic credit instrument that denominated, delta neutral, denominated in the US dollar, is able to farm meme coin volatility and grow based on meme coin speculation. And with that, you essentially have, to me, a stable coin, a decentralized stable coin that's perfectly suited to our times. And CDX USD, really our focus is on these liquidity AMOs, and whether it be a meme coin or a social token or whatever, creating these credit instruments and creating these under collateralized but fully collateralized loans, we see as a very clear and obvious path for growth. And we are extremely close to market with our first entry into this ecosystem.
So, Charles, can you say that in English?
That was pretty good English.
Here, let me try it.
So we got.
You go ahead,
So
Right.
okay, here's the timeline. Pool
Okay.
gets launched.
Okay.
Half of it is Cod3x stablecoin. Half of it is PooCoin or any meme coin, any coin.
Okay.
The half that's the meme coin is 100% of that coin's supply. There can't be any more supply of this meme coin coming.
You can't sell after the point the point of inception. There's nothing to sell.
There's nothing to sell. No one has any tokens. There's no
So the price can only go up.
for anyone to access the token, they need to buy through the pool. There's only one pool. That's the bottleneck. As they buy, the pool is gonna the value of the pool is gonna increase. The value of the meme coin is gonna increase, and the stablecoin supply is going to increase as a result.
And so this is a stable coin,
floor.
sure, but it's like a liquidity network. It's essentially a network of credit that settles to the US dollar in the core pool. So it sounds kind of complicated, but really what it means is we can whip out meme coins with a $10 million valuation and $20 million of liquidity out the gate and arbitrarily adjust downside risk. So basically, like, you don't need this aggressive bonding curve. You can have the aggressive bonding curve, but you don't need it to bootstrap liquidity. So in doing so, we've essentially created a liquidity network that's powered by speculation on these hyper volatile or not so volatile, depending on the liquidity you tune it to, assets. So now, if you're creating a social token, for example, and you want your friends to onboard and you don't want to expose them to a bunch of downside and a bunch of volatility, you can create a token at a $50 million market cap. And really the result is it's just not going to move very much unless you're interacting with it with millions of dollars in size. And you know, there's a lot of potential use cases for that. Like, one, if you've got really rich ass friends and you need something that can kind of take on that size out the gate. Or if you just want something that even if people buy, sell, whatever, there's not really going to be a lot of downside, but you still have a little bit of volatility, you still have a little bit of excitement, and it can be kind of reflexive with your community and grow along with you.
Yeah. And an important thing to highlight is the initial like creation of the pool where you're just throwing millions of dollars in synthetic credit into the pool. It's not actually in circulation until people start buying and interacting with the pool. And for them to buy $1, they have to put $1 into the pool, which is what backs the stable coin. So like it's in a pool, it's not quite in circulation. As at the time it leaves the pool, the stable coin, it is backed by $1 and more as time goes on. And that's
and
really,
I guess something that is really cool is that this is really only possible in DeFi. I mean, you know, you could use like some series of complex, like, you know, paper contracts and settlement methodologies, et cetera, to execute something similar, but it would be so complicated and so messy and so impossible to make a reality that TradFi could effectively never do it. But with DeFi, we can create these instruments and scale them really, really easily, frankly. And yeah, it's just to us a very exciting on-trend way to grow a stablecoin, and we're going to see CDX USD scale potentially hundreds of times faster than our existing stablecoin stack, simply because we can create these AMOs. And to answer B's question, if they can only buy with CDX USD, where do they go to get CDX USD? And that kind of goes back to what Charles was saying, a one-to-one swap with a reputable stable coin. So for example, they could be routed through a Uniswap pool, or they could engage with a PSM MakerDAO style. And we can create a cost structure associated with that to promote arbitrage and stability.
So some other CDX USD USDC pool, basically.
And the power of Uniswap v3 allows us to effectively create a PSM, which would effectively be a limit order of, you know, let's say 10 million CDX USD, so that as people route into the meme coins or out into the speculative token, they'll be going through this pool and dropping off their dollar, which will back CDX USD in perpetuity.
Right on. I mean, this sounds like a money hack if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, I mean, think about the fees. Think about the fees that can be generated from this pool, purely because of just how deep the liquidity can be. You can just support so much volume out of the gate, and if you're doing it on a protocol,
and even
like,
more,
on a protocol like Airdrome,
even more demonic.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Sorry, we're both excited.
Yeah,
if you want to be
like
truly
Airdrome,
demonic,
dude.
you can create meme coins that are underwritable. So one of the ways we designed Cod3x Lend was to act as a facilitator for CDX USD distribution. And if the price floor for a meme coin is 10 million, 20 million, 30 million market cap, you can issue loans to that, and you can underwrite it really easily because you know exactly what the price floor is. And like creating this vertically integrated stack, I mean, frankly, it's like fighting Aave over majors and fighting Aave over weird farming strategies is like a negative sum game, really. And you know, we've designed Cod3x Lend and the upcoming Cod3x Liquidity Network ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, to really occupy a new market segment that we feel is going to be a lot more profitable, and we'll be able to operate at a much larger scale.
Interesting. So what's the sell to get people to launch their meme coins here as opposed to say Pump.Bun or any of the other, like why would I do this? Why would I pair my meme coin with CDXUC? Because a lot of them want that small market cap up front, don't they? They want to be like, get in now when it's 10K market cap, because then when it's 100 million,
Yeah.
or money.
Yeah. So because we can bootstrap liquidity basically arbitrarily, you can go directly to the DEX. You don't need to have the bootstrapping period and the aggressive bonding curve at the outset. And you don't need to have the migration where we take a rake. You can have it, but by using our platform, you can get arbitrarily deep liquidity. So you can look at your audience and think, okay, these are people I value. I don't want to give them a token with a floor of 0 and the most aggressive bonding curve in the world, because then it's a dice toss. And the opportunity cost for scammers is so freaking low. The opportunity cost for people creating these predatory pools and these predatory tokens is so low that you just kind of lose a lot of people. And using a liquidity AMO with the Codex stack and with Codex USD, you raise that opportunity cost a lot more. And so you're able to create a bespoke liquidity strategy for your user base and for your target market.
Fantastic. Some of that customization, huh? Now, I'm liking the sound of this. When are we going to know more about Codex USD? When are we going to see it? When are we going to play with it?
White paper like in a week or two, and you'll probably see Codex USD in the wild at about the same time.
Okay.
So we could launch as soon as this week. I think we'll probably wait until next week, but yeah, it's been audited a couple times. We're ready to roll, and frankly, we think it's a very exciting new primitive, and we're going to be putting a lot of energy into it. And this is like the first time where we have something that's truly sellable. It's really hard to sell an over collateralized loan. You can be like, hey, we'll take on a ton of counterparty risk for you to mint our synthetic dollar, which isn't really a great pitch. But with this, it's like we can really take advantage of our wide B2B network.
Right on. Very cool. Well, that's hot. That's something to look forward to. Another thing to look forward to here, I'm going to gracefully transition here out of this because we're coming up against the time limit here. The oath migration going to be ending this month. Going to be ending at the end of this month. So if you have not yet migrated your oath or grain, what do you do it, dude? What are you waiting for?
Yeah,
right?
and tell your friends, like literally October 29th rolls around, or whatever the end date was. That is a true cutoff point. Codex is a net new product, a net new project with, a net new ecosystem and focus. And, our goal is to onboard people that are paying attention, that are working with us, and reward existing community members. Because we know it's been hard as shit for DeFi lending in the past couple of years. And, we really want to take everybody into this next journey with us. And, AI-Fi and AI solutions are going to be hot in perpetuity. This is a very different product than a lot of our users may be used to, with a different set of KPIs. And even Codex Lend and Codex USD, while they might be a little more familiar, will occupy a totally different segment in the market than we have historically. So please migrate. Remember to migrate. We'll be reminding the shit out of you. And if you haven't yet, there's an article on codex.org telling you what to expect when the migration comes around. And, really our goal is to get Codex in the hands of everybody. Our goal is to make Codex USD one of the most successful decentralized stablecoins of all time. We have the skills, we have the network, we have the potential. And this is the first time we've had, the technology to match our ambition. So don't miss it. And, we're not going to be forgiving a year from now when some of you forgot to migrate tokens.
That's right, guys. So, don't miss the boat. All right. Don't miss the boat. Get on that thing. Now let's open it up a little bit for some Q&A. If we got any other questions, let me scroll through the Discord. I don't think we have too many right now. And if not, we can just vamp, dude. We can just vamp. Guys, anyone know if extremely close is better than soon?
It is way better. Soon usually means like within 3 to 6 months. Extremely close means, we're literally waiting for like one design item or one blog post to be finished or one, go-to-market strategy to be finalized before we ship. So, and as far as like the Codex Alpha goes, it's already in the hands of, our B2B audience. And we're just adding a few features right now, like feedback tools, and we're adding the NFT gate with the Dex NFT. So freaking mint that if you haven't, so that you guys can get on board and mint your freaking Dex NFT.
I think if you
free.
don't if you don't mint it, I think I'm gonna close the mint like end of next week. I'm not using data science here. I'm the janitor in the Codex offices, so I'm not crunching any numbers here. I'm not going to ask Charles to run the numbers. I think I'm just going to close it next week, dude. And if you don't have it, then I guess you're just not going to be able to get into the super secret lab and poke Dex.
And I'll tell you, like, this is a really unique product. And like, we're going to be working really closely with alpha testers. So alpha testers will also get a lot of opportunities to earn points. So if you don't mint your Dex NFT, you will not have an opportunity probably for a couple months, unless like, you have a really good argument. But so just mint it.
Right on. Please do. And I got a question here about the points. Will we give points for threads that have been previously made about Codex in the past? I'm going to say this is subject to approval. I think I'm going to have to look through and confirm these backdated ones.
If it's like a banger, if it's like a true high effort banger, then sure, we might sprinkle little points here and there. But that's if we get to it. This is like no promise. Going forward, every single post that tags Codex, if it doesn't look like dog shit, we'll put it in the running for top 3, and we'll feature them, all the best posts in the newsletter every month, and we'll just try to make sure that there's a lot of opportunity in that way.
That's right. All right. Now, speaking of points, how do I spin this thing again? Let me hide this. All right. So I put on everyone that was in the Discord chat. When I looked, I did a surprise snapshot. I put them on the wheel, and now we're going to spin the wheel, and we're going to see who is getting some puntos today.
Wow. I love points.
Oh, my
dude.
God. Oh, my God. That was
potato juice, well earned. Potato Juice hosted Samson and I for a podcast about Aurelius and Codex last week. So shout out to you, Potato Juice. Yeah. Great podcast host.
We will count those Potato Juice toward the that's basically a Twitter post.
Yeah, if you do a video or a podcast, you actually get preferential treatment. Daddy might sprinkle a little extra points on the platter for you. You know what I'm saying, Juicy?
Are we doing 3 spins?
Dude, what are you talking about? You think we're fucking made of points?
Okay.
Crazy? You think these things just come out of thin air?
Maybe not. Excuse me.
All right.
I forgot you were the arbiter. Yeah, I feel bad for Pepper. That was so close.
Pepper, you got, it was a close one.
Hold on, let me I need to shill Potato Juice's podcast. It's called DeFi Unlocked. DeFi Unlocked on Spotify and on YouTube. So
yeah, post it in the comments, Potato Juice. Feel free. And if Wick bans you, we'll unban you. Are we doing all 4,500 to one guy?
I mean, that's what the memo said to me. Was it wrong?
It said 4,500 between 3.
Oh, between 3.
2 more.
All right, I guess we'll do 2 more. All right,
dude. One
all
is
right.
impressive.
I guess the liberals want to do a little bit of welfare here, but okay. Where's Potato Juicy? I got to remove Potato Juicy from the list here, though. Oh fuck. Okay.
We'll just
well.
remove him in our heads. If it lands on him
Yeah.
again.
All right.
Well,
Nowry.
Nowry, nice.
all right,
OG.
cool.
Potato juicy. Nowry.
That's awesome.
Okay. And then we remove them. And
I
now
love spinning wheels.
for the last one. Now, here we go. Who is it gonna be?
Please be me.
Oh my god, if it's potato juicy
oh.
again.
No way.
Nope.
Dude.
Sorry. Sorry, potato juicy.
That's twisted.
Um,
That's like messed up.
Yeah, let's
Wow,
go.
RJK.
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 Well deserved.
Good job.
RJ
Good job.
Kex, dude. That's like what I like to call him. Welcome to the winner's circle. Well, fellas, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everyone watching this at home. Now, you know what the call to action for this video is going to be. Do I even need to say it? I'll say it. Welcome Codex into your hearts. Welcome Dex into your hearts and love Codex and pray about Codex and love Codex. No, go out there, spread the word, join our Discord, like and retweet this video, all that stuff. And be sure to subscribe to the Codex Central YouTube channel. We also stream this there. So we're going to be consolidating. We're going to be putting all our videos up there. If you ever miss a Club Codex, you'll find it there. So
Production
again,
value will also increase over time, I swear.
well, I mean, let's not get hasty
No
here, Beavis.
promises.
So we'll catch you guys next time. Adios. Now we got something to play out. Let's do this one.
Wow, that sounds good.
All right. See you guys next time.